Hey everybody, my name is Jason Traub. I'm 6 foot tall, 220 pounds right now. The last show that I did was the Olympia Amateur in December, and right now I'm prepping for Junior USA's in May.
Hey guys, I'm Omar Abdullah. I'm 5'5", 184 pounds in the off season. Last show I did was the Mr. Michigan, and I plan on going to teen nationals probably in October. I'm not sure what show yet though.
What's up, everyone? My name's Oneel. I'm 5 feet 10 right now. Last time I was 5'9", but now I guess I'm 5'10". Weighing around 206 pounds. Last show that I did was 2020 Central States, and hoping to compete soon. Haven't decided on a show yet, but it's going to be this year. Hopefully do a national show and try to go for my pro card. Yeah. I'll start out by saying Omar threw up like 3-4 times. So I can definitely say it was an intense leg day. We started off on abductors and adductors, made sure we warmed everything up before we did any heavy movements, and we went on from there.
Okay, so yeah, after the adductor abductor, it was kind of to continue the warm up, just get our knees and hammies warm. We did leg extension and quad extension and hamstring curl. I believe we did 2 warm-up sets and then four working sets of 12 reps. Yeah, so the 2 warm-up sets were 20 reps and then 4 working sets of 12, which is a lot of. We hammered the volume today, and it really showed for me. I was dying.
So after we were properly warmed up, we did we moved on to leg press, I believe, and then hack squats. We did a superset. We did standing hack squats on this machine, and then we did reverse standing to target both hamstrings and the quads. And we moved on to leg press and worked our way up to 8 plates, then drop setted.
Yep. Yeah, so like Jason said, it was a lot of volume. I'm a big believer in volume. Omar, I don't think you like volume too much, based on how many times he threw up. But like I said, like for legs especially, I like to push, and when I say I push, like as you can see in the workouts, like I'm going all out. And I know a lot of people don't believe in my training methods. They'll say, it's overtraining, you're overdoing it, overkill, and all that kind of stuff. But, it's worked for me, and both of these guys really enjoyed the workout. Obviously, it was tough, but, I mean, Jason, you would agree that if you follow this kind of training, you're going to grow.
100%, man, and it's just like you said. Like this kind of training has been working for you. So like if it's not broke, why fix it, right? It's working, and I think it's important for every athlete to kind of figure out how their body responds best with different kinds of training. And so you can't be married to one idea, because there could be this whole style of training that you don't even know that your body's going to respond great to because you haven't tried it, right? So it's important to kind of experiment and try different things. I usually do a lot more heavyweight, lighter volume than I'm used to here that we just did. So it was great. And to touch on that hack squat set that Omar talked about, it was like I had to dig really deep, because I think we did 80 reps total. It was 4 working sets of 10 and 10, yeah, so 20s, and it was just insane. The last 2 sets, we just kept adding plates on, and we really had to dig deep, or at least I did, and I mean I'm sure these guys did too. But yeah.
For some of you guys, like Omar kept his shoes on, some of you guys were barefoot. Some of you had different foot placements. What each of you tell us, like what is your?
You want to go into the foot
placement?
placement?
You have your placement, or where your shoes are not wearing shoes for each of you?
I think for me, I have flat feet, so I don't know if you have flat feet too, Jason, but for me, it just feels, so yeah, he does. It feels more natural, especially with like squat movements and stuff. I feel like unless you have like squat shoes, which I've tried squat shoes before, I really like them. But yeah, I mean, it just feels more natural for me. I feel like I can focus more. And, if I'm wearing shoes, I feel like I have to focus on the balance aspect of it. But now I don't, because it's more natural for me. Now, as far as the foot placement and stuff, I think that just it depends on the body and the way you're built. Everybody's built differently. So as you can see, if you look into the hack squats that we did, Jason would go wide and far out with his legs. I wouldn't, just because like he's a lot taller than me and he's got longer legs than me. So it all depends on how you're built, basically. But yeah.
That's true, but also foot placement has to do with so I could do narrow and I could do wide. The only reason, maybe I'm not sure in the video if I showed it, but most of the time I go wide And again, this comes from lifting heavy. I kind of train a Dorian Yates kind of training, and Oneel does kind of like a Tom Platz high intensity. My volume doesn't really pass 15 reps, 12 reps really. It's usually 6 to 10 at most. So it shocked my CNS today. I mean, I literally went back and forth to the bathroom, and these guys are like, "Where the hell are you?" I'm like, "I'm just throwing up." At this point, I don't even care. I'm just throwing up. I'm used to it. Third time I went to the bathroom, I just threw up water. And then fourth time I felt like throwing up. I was like, I might as well just throw up air. I don't even know what I'm throwing up anymore. But so then we after leg press, we moved on squat. Just because it was my favorite movement. I had to do it. So with squats, I can go narrow. If I'm trying to focus on quads, I could kind of do both, but I usually go wide, which is not ideal because it's all lower back and glutes, and I don't really need that. Those are my dominant parts. I probably should go narrow more often. And then we just finished off with calves. I don't know if you guys have any.
Now, with you guys, when you're doing your squats like that, like not on a machine, do you feel your back at all? I know you guys are young bucks, but a lot of the older guys I work with, they don't like doing the squats unless it's like a hack squat because if their back support, they feel like it's kind of rough.
For me personally, I never feel my lower back. I've never felt it once in my life. It's never been a problem for me, I think because of my height and also because I'm so used to squatting low bar and just kind of like a power lifter that I don't really feel it. I've nailed I believe the form. I don't know if you guys...
You're talking about lower back. Now, yeah, honestly, I'll have to say that doesn't, I mean, obviously age affects it, but a big part of it is if you have a weak core, which I do have a weak core. So now you start going into that duck position, if you know what I mean, where your back starts arching up, and I have a problem with that. So I don't know if you've seen, but right when I lift the weight for the squat, I actually push my midsection down. It activates my core and I take the pressure off my back. But as I keep going heavier, I do start feeling it just because I start, going back into that, duck position. I like to call it the duck position. But that's where my back starts arching up and stuff. But I think with Jason, I didn't see you squat today. But how's your form with squats as far as like positioning and stuff? Because you're a lot taller guy, so I don't know how your squat goes.
So yeah, it's kind of similar to how you said on when I was doing the hacks, just wider stance. I just have these draft legs, so I put my feet a little duck-footed, a little slanted outward, and wider than normal. And like it does. Dino said it works a lot more glute, and it definitely does. It loads my glutes and hammies a lot more, but it's just like that's the compromise I have to make because it's the only way I'm going to be able to squat without my back flaring up. So yeah, I go wide. And I also kind of have to go high bar just because I have no flexibility. So I would do low bar if I could, but it's not even an option. I just don't have the mobility to do that. So you guys did a couple sets of squats, and then what did we hit after that? Leg curl? I think we did leg curl after that. And that was just, I think it was 3 or 4 sets.
No, we did 3, I believe.
3?
Yeah.
3, yeah. It was a couple on one machine, and then we jumped onto a better one. And that was 12 to 20 reps, something like that. And what was the last thing we did or next thing?
Just want to touch on something real quick. I want to give a shout out to Jimmy, Baby Bird. Now these guys are talking about, with their squat, it's more hamstring dominant and stuff. I love you, Jimmy. You know I do. I watch his stuff. I learn a lot from him. I know Dino has trained with Jimmy a couple times. Jason, you followed his workouts a lot. But he's always he's got the same problem. When he's squatting, he talks about how his hamstrings and glutes are more dominant. But he does talk about if you put like what do you call it? Those elevated elevate your heels. So there is ways. Yeah, with the wedge, exactly. So yeah, you might be more dominant, but there's always ways to train train the muscle basically that you want to train. So I think before I used to be more, hamstrings and glute dominant, but with time, I tried all different types of methods. I tried the safety bar squats, which I think it's a great exercise to target your quads. But yeah, just because you're built a way where you're more dominant on certain muscle doesn't mean you can't train the opposite muscle. You just have to find a way to train around it. So, yeah.
Yeah. So he touched up on Jimmy. Jimmy loves the safety bar squat because when I used to train with him, he's like, okay, we're gonna do safety bar. We're not doing your kind of squat. And he's like, because you can't cheat on this. I use a lot of glutes and hams and just bounce off the ground. but that safety bar, you can't really cheat. It's like it keeps you kind of,
Can't low bar either.
yeah, you can't low bar. It
Forces
keeps
you.
you very straight, and you just up and down. There's nowhere to go. You're in a very tight position, and yeah. So when I trained with Jimmy, it's like he hits every single muscle group without any cheating or momentum. It's just complete form. And there's a lot of ways you could grow. So I know Oneel's main way of growing is through high intensity. Mine's through heavy weight, and Jimmy just trains with very, very proper form, slow tempo, negatives, eccentric, constant. He just focuses on everything. That's why in the future, I hope us four could train. It'll be a big session. I mean, but I don't mind. It'd be like volume, heavy weight, and as I like to call Jimmy, the strategist. He's a very smart guy.
And just to kind of touch on that, and we mentioned it earlier, it's just like there's a million ways to skin a cat, and you really have to try all of these different ways to see what works best. And I honestly think periodization is important, right? So it's like this might work best for you now, and then go to a different type of training method, do this for a while, and then come back to a different one, and you might see different changes from just periodization. What you know the word I'm trying to say. You split it up, right? And so it just like the timing of which you do different training styles matters as well. There's just so many different factors that go into it.
40-year-old Oneel will train differently than 19.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be much different. I mean, maybe, but who knows?
You may be, who knows that you might be.
Yeah, it's like you know when bodybuilders talk about like every prep is different. So it's the same exact thing. You know, as you grow older, you have to adjust. If you don't adjust and adapt to it, you're gonna end up injured. Like look at, for example, Dexter Jackson. He's been in this sport for God since my grandpa was born. I think he's been in literally since Ronnie Coleman days.
People like Ronnie who can rebuild.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, you just got to be smart about it. You got to do, you know, what works for your body. What works for Jason and Dino might not work for me. So you got to find what best works for you. And, yeah.
Okay, so maybe you guys talk about future plans and what your diets are like currently at this stage.
Future plans like short term, long term. What do you? Short term or long term?
Like right now, you're like on your prep yet, then?
Right now I'm off season, but I'm planning on competing around October.
Okay, so go into the difference for us, like when you're off season as to when you'll be prepping.
So I kind of prep more later than you people usually do, because my metabolism is crazy. In the off season, I have to push up to 6,000 calories. I just have to eat. And as much as people say keep your diet clean, and I don't. So I have a similar approach to like a Lee Priest kind of diet. So I have my 4 or 5 required meals, you know, the healthy stuff, the vegetables, the good meats and all that. But then I have stuff in between for proper recovery for the way I train, high intensity 6 days a week and all that good stuff. I believe in high caloric meals. I can't train on 3,000 calories. It's just terrible recovery. I wake up messed up. I can't move, and I need to really push the calories. And then when I come on prep, I'm a couple weeks out still eating 3K. I'm still pushing a lot of calories, and I lose weight tremendously. It's crazy, but I stay relatively full while I'm on prep for some odd reason. So my coach keeps my carbs high until about 2 weeks out, and then I start to cut down quick.
Who's your coach?
The Clasthetic boy, Team Clasthetics, his team is. So yeah, I plan on doing teen nationals. Long term, I plan on competing in the 212, and possibly going in the open. I am not sure yet. And I have very big goals in bodybuilding since 19. Since the age of 14, I've been dreaming about this. So that's not changing anytime soon.
Yeah. As far as right now I'm off season. Last time I shot with Jeff, I would say I was a little more sloppy and a lot more pale because I didn't have a tan on. But so yeah, as I got more deeper into the off season, it happens with me. So right when I get off the show, my metabolism is usually like super high. I'm like last time I was pushing 6,000-7,000 calories. Now I had to cut it down a little bit to 4,000, which is still a lot, you know. I'm pushing like 400 grams of carbs, over 300 grams of protein. Fat is relatively low. But yeah, like I said, I plan on competing this year. The goal is all the way, man. That's the long-term goal, you know. Take it how you want it, but I'm going all the way with this thing. You know, bodybuilding it's my passion, it's my life, and yeah.
Okay, so current plans.
Oh, and diet. Well, you are.
And diet, yeah. So yeah, current plans right now. We are 10 weeks, 4 days out from Junior USA's. We're gonna aim at Classic, Class C. For the amateur, we did bodybuilding and classic. I'm just not ready to hang with the national level guys in bodybuilding. For my height and my weight, I'm gonna need to be like 20 pounds heavier I need to size up before I can compete with the national guys. So, but in classic, I think I have a shot. So, our short-term plan is aim at classic, try and have some success there, see if we can go pro. If not, I mean, big off season and try it again. I'd like to eventually go into bodybuilding, assuming that my genetics allow me to get that size, but I'm just going to, you know, keep doing what I'm doing and see how my body responds and play it by ear. Diet right now it's not too different from the last time we shot. It's maybe a little bit less calories. I'm ballparking at like 3,800. I don't have the exact numbers just because we go by meals, not necessarily the calories, but it's about 3,800. Carbs are probably 350 to 400, and protein's probably like 250 to 260.
So is it more like a macro plan?
It's just like, it's not macro. So it's basically just like I have the same meals every single day, and then we just go off of that and pull, you know, we'll pull a cup of rice, or it's the same thing, but we just measure it differently. It's just simple, more simple for me, for my, you know, caveman bodybuilder brain. So yeah.
People who do not like macros at all.
Yeah.
Enrique is always giving me like make macros in the off season. I'm like, bro, give me a meal plan, man, because
How much rice can I eat?
like that shit drives me insane, man. I don't like being given too much freedom. I don't know, man. Like, I just hate having freedom. I like living like a freaking monk. Exactly. Yeah.
I think, yeah, that's about it for diet. Cardio is 20 minutes a day. It's not too crazy. I do it 6 days a week. My leg days are the only days I take off, so today I will not be doing cardio.
For each of you guys, would this be, obviously, Oneel, you kind of came up with the workout, but would this be, like I think you had kind of mentioned, Jason, would this be, what's your typical workout? Like, it would probably be more of a heavier reps.
Yeah, this is a whole lot more volume and honestly load than I'm used to. Like total reps under load is like working sets a lot more than I'm used to. And I'm sure I'm gonna be wrecked in a couple days, but it's great. It's exactly what I need. I felt I had so much blood in my legs today. It kind of showed me, like, you see the size that you can put max out on a certain body part in the mirror in the gym, and you go, oh, that's like the potential that this could look like on stage, right? Like that shape could be there. So I saw a glimpse of that, and so I think I'm gonna push the volume while I can, while the food is still in here, and then, you know, obviously I'm gonna have to pull back in a few weeks, but right now I'm gonna keep the pedal to the metal.
I like to, for my leg days, or any muscle group, I like to pick 1-2 compounds max. Oneel is kind of different. He trains with like multiple compounds and accessories. He saves for either the very beginning to pre-exhaust, or does both beginning and end to just exhaust the muscles in every way. I like to pick 1 or 2 compounds, increase the sets, probably keep the reps between 6 to 10 and go heavy. But I've been trying to change that because I've been doing it for a while, and I know your body just adapts crazy. Humans are the most adaptable creatures on the planet, so you got to change it up every now and then. I've been training with a lot of people. Honestly, people have been asking me why I'm training with so many people lately. I'm trying to study, train in their way, and trying to see what works best for me. So far, hands down, without feeding him too much ego, Oneel's, I mean, I had to skip 2 leg days in a row. I kid you not, I couldn't train. I went home, I skipped my meal, just fell asleep, I couldn't eat, and just knocked out cold till the next morning. As I'm talking to you guys, I'm like half conscious. I honestly don't even know what I'm saying right now. Yeah, I like to pick 1 compound and go really, 1 or 2 compounds and go really heavy, rather than just do a multiple. But it's good to shoot with volume. My thing is, I just hate losing. So it was like he beat me on leg press, and then we were gonna like kind of just like go do other movements. I was like, let's do squats, and even on squats, he still kept up, and that's my favorite movement. So after I threw up, I felt good, did squats, and then I went to the bathroom again, and just hell broke loose.
Yeah, so I'm you know, especially with legs, it's all in, man. like Dorian Yates used to say, you gotta introduce a new stimulus every time you come in here. So guys, guess what? Now you guys pushed it. Next time it's gonna be even harder than this leg day. So you always got to do something different that makes the workout a little more challenging than last time. It's hard, obviously. There is a risk, but I'm a big believer in the greater the risk, the bigger the reward. And that goes with anything in life, going under that weight and after that much volume, it could potentially injure me. But you know what? You never know. Like, what if I don't do this set? How is it going to affect my physique on stage this year if I had skipped, let's say, the leg press? So I don't like leaving anything up to chance and just going all in with it.
I think it was Fuad who said it. If the weight doesn't scare me a little, it's not heavy enough, right? So it's kind of that mentality there. And I just wanted to mention, like, the dynamic that you two have, the camaraderie and the oh, he did this on this set, so I have to do this. Dude, that is valuable. And if you guys hold on to that and ride that, you can make so much progress from just that. The most gains I've ever made in off seasons have been with training partners that I have that with, where it's like, it's this, like, no, you're not going to beat me. Like, I'm going to show you what a set is every single time. And it just pushes both of you. It's the best. It's the best way to improve, in my opinion. Like, nothing beats that.
So me and Oneel talked about this. Oneel is kind of like, I believe he said, you're trying to beat yourself every day as long as you give it your all. So I kind of have a different philosophy. I believe in as long as you go to the gym and give it your all, you always beat yourself. But for me, people say don't compare yourself too much, but I like to do that. I like to have that effect. So when I look at Oneel and I see him pushing those reps, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta do this too now. I have to beat him now, and then he goes, and then I go, and then it's just a back and forth, and and not only do you grow more, you have fun doing it. You're gonna look back at those days, and he said something crazy. Oneel said something really crazy. I'll let him say it. Actually, you should tell them what you said about it on Instagram.
It was we were talking about just like the future and stuff, and I was telling him, I'm like, listen, he's a very, very competitive guy, which there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, competition pushes you to be a better person, but I had to remind him that, listen, when we're 70 years old and when we pass away, people, it's nice to have things accomplished and have trophies, but you're not going to sit there and tell people about your accomplishments. You're going to sit there and tell your grandchildren about the memories you made with Uncle Dino, Uncle Jason. Like, yeah, we shared the stage together. You're going to be showing them pictures. It's not really going to matter who won, but at this stage, it's the best thing, like Jason said, to push each other. So when I'm working out with Dino, it's something that I do. I let the person that I'm training with go first, just to see, like, like, you got 12 reps? All right, I'm gonna get 13 reps. But no. This time I went first though. So yeah, it's you got to find the right person to push you, and that's the most important thing. But you can't lose sight of, like, you can't let that turn into jealousy and hatred, because this sport is all love. And I think lately with competition, I've been seeing a lot of hate on Instagram between competitors and stuff. And be competitive, but do it in a good heart, in a good way. Don't turn that into like, I hate this guy. No, make it okay, this guy's better than me, now I gotta push. I'm always surrounding myself with people stronger than me, like Dino, people bigger than me, like Jason. They push me. So that's the most important thing in life, It's always giving back, being good to people, and yeah, you can have a competition, but do it in a good heart. What would you like to think?
Would I what?
What would you like to think? I think he's half asleep.
Would I like to think?
Yeah, like your coach, girl.
Okay, so I would like to thank Jimmy and this goes for both of us, because Jimmy said multiple times, he even when you weren't there, he told me, he was like, he'll rather see me and Oneel go pro rather than seeing himself go pro, because he sees potential, and he's been a big help for me. I've learned so much from that guy. I'd like to thank my coach and Alex. Alex, I like to call him my enemy because we go back and forth on squats all the time. And that's all I have in mind.
Okay. I'd like to thank my family, Team DeSantis and Jeremy, my coach, my girlfriend Alex, and everybody at Powerhouse who's supportive and yeah. Sorry, leg day adrenaline dump is starting to hit me too. I'm starting to fade out. Yeah, and thank you, Raul, my sponsor, Bro Activewear. Thank you very much.
I want to start out by thanking Jeff. Thanks for giving us this opportunity, man. I'm talking for both of you guys, man, because I know these guys aren't functioning right now. And I want to thank Jason and Dino for coming out, and it was a pleasure to be training with you guys and making these memories here. I want to thank my family, my coach, my sponsor, Choose Fit Nutrition. Just good people like you guys, man. I thank you guys seriously for pushing me and making me a better person. And there's a lot of people in my life. Honestly, I'll take that back. They're not a lot. I do have a small circle, and I appreciate you guys, and thank you for everything. So I'm looking forward to be seeing both these guys kill it on stage this year. I'm excited for both you guys. I really, really want to see you guys win, and